Welcome to Uncommon Sense, where it's uncommon sense conversations trying to make common sense out of all this uncommon sense that's going on. And I am Jay Howard. I'm got here my brother, big brother, Mo Better, the one and only Michael B. Wright Sr. How you doing, Michael B?
What's up there, big brother Rock?
Oh man, you got it, brother. You got it.
If I did, I wouldn't be running from sun to sundown. But oh well.
Oh man.
Oh well.
That's all good, man.
We make it do what it do.
That means you in high demand, my brother. High demand.
Oh, I'm
High
crazy
demand.
as hell. We want to go first.
What is it?
I
What is
consider
it,
the
my brother?
latter. I consider the latter, boy.
You consider the latter.
But
Anyway.
yeah, man.
All right.
I know, right?
Man, oh man, we missed last week. We had a little time off last week. But bruh, is it ever so crazy this week, brother?
Man, I told you, you're gonna have material to about 2098, probably about all this stuff going on here, man. So you ain't gonna never run out of material.
I know, brother. You're gonna never run out of material, brother. Never run out of material. What is your president doing, man?
Mine, I ain't got no president. I do not have a president.
Yes, you do. You got a president.
I have a god. I do not have a president.
You got a god and a king.
That's what I got right there. I have
okay.
No
all right.
Now,
Now, the Democrats kind of stood up for themselves in Texas. Now, they was going for the redistricting, of course. But then they fled from the state so they wouldn't have the vote. And now they facing, civil arrest warrants.
That part.
Well,
what
you think about that? What you think about that, brother?
Well, again,
yeah.
Even if Abbott subpoenas anybody or part of warrant is not valid unless you're in Texas. So if they don't flee to Miami or Texas or outside the state, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
No, but it's crazy though, man. That again, everybody know that the fix is in. They're trying to put the fix in, but they still run it through. I mean, that's the asinine thing about it. Someone's trying to fix it in their favor, and they still trying to push it through. That's what's a travesty to me, man. Bump them folk fleeing the state. Is the fact that you're doing this live, living in color, out in the open. We are purposely trying to get 5 seats so we can jack this thing up. That part.
That part right there, bro.
That part, bro. So like, what we doing? But they don't care no more, man. I mean, they do not care no more,
bro. They do not care. They like, we don't care how you think, how you feel.
No,
this is how it is,
and this is what they're gonna do.
Wow.
I mean, purpose is to break up 5 black districts, man. Again, to get 5 seats. That's cold-blooded, man.
Come on, man. That's cold-blooded, bro.
That's cold-blooded, bro.
So what you actually did, you broke it up because what you're doing, you actually taking the economic power out of the community, and you making now those districts, you're making them poor now. That's what you're doing. So now they're poor districts right now.
That's how you do it, man. Wow. 10 of their tax base. So, like I said, this is what's heartbreaking, man. That again, they're doing this live and living color out in the open, and it's no pushback. I mean, there's no kind of uproar in all of Texas. Just I'm talking about from the Rudy to the Tootie. But it's just a shame how we've gotten to this place where you can just now do it without any kind of concern about any blowback.
Right.
They in there, man.
Well, of course, we got to hear from my girl, Jasmine Crockett.
That baby, yes, sir.
Because, Jasmine can go to court for me at any time.
Yeah, that girl, that boy, she putting the time in, boy. She putting the time
in. So let's go to Jasmine right now, here on Uncommon Sense, the beautiful bean footage, as we call it.
Yes, sir.
Abbott just announced that he has ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety to find and arrest the House Democrats who have fled the state. You're in the Chicago area with some of those Democratic representatives. What's the plan with them? Obviously, at some point, you have to return to the state of Texas eventually. So ultimately, does it seem that it's a foregone conclusion that this bill will pass?
I don't say ultimately. I never say ultimately because I don't have a give up attitude whatsoever. But right now, the governor has decided that he wants to waste more of Texans' resources by deciding that he's going to send out the troopers. And listen, I don't even think that he's going to do that. I think he's just talking. Earlier today, I posted a copy of the warrant that was signed by the speaker, because it's the speaker of the House that can put the call on the House, not the governor. And no one came to get me last time. In fact, it is a cute little warrant that has a cute little frame on it. And so they like to talk a big game, but the reality is that, number one, you have a lot of intelligent attorneys that actually serve in the Texas House. And so they know that there's nothing that he can do outside of the Texas jurisdiction to bring them in. This is one of the reasons they are in another state. His authority does not extend throughout the entirety of the United States. So he's just talking the big talk so that, he can rile up his base. Ultimately, what will happen, we don't know. I know that we've been in litigation since 2021 over the current maps. I am one of the plaintiffs in that case, and I do know that the state the entire time has taken the position that they issued maps that were race neutral. And then all of a sudden, once they got a letter from the DOJ that talked about race, they somehow flipped the script and they decided that they wanted to do new maps, seemingly at their prompting. So now they're kind of dancing around their position, and now it seems like they're going to flip positions.
You've said that the new maps do nothing but divide, distract, and depress. What's your understanding of how your district will change if these maps do pass?
Yeah, so my district, what they did is they did a thing that we call, they packed my district up, and then they cracked minorities from another community. And so what they've did is they've increased the number of African Americans in my district. But while they were cracking out persons from another community and packing them into my community, they also removed all the economic engines, which is yet another red flag. This means that I don't have Southwest Airlines or JSX Airlines or Dallas Love Airport or Downtown or AT&T or Goldman Sachs, and the list goes on of amazing companies and corporations that I'm typically bringing in to make sure that we can talk about economic opportunities for the people that live in my district, including getting rid of the medical center in my district as well.
So you make them economically poor. Actually.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole deal, man. That's a whole deal.
Wow.
And again, man, it appears that there hasn't been enough pushback in Texas from people of sanity, man.
Right.
Again, to have those kind of individuals still sitting in those chairs.
Right.
But it just shows how people think, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something, man.
It is, man. And to be able to pull out, purposely, extract the corporations and the medical center, from somebody's district, man, that right there is just mind blowing, bro.
That's mind blowing, bro. That's mind blowing. So actually, the warrants really, they do nothing, actually.
Not unless you're in Texas.
Yeah, not unless they're in Texas, because they can't do anything because of, they're in Illinois right now, so they can't really do anything until they get back to Texas.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But it's the inevitable. If they have the votes, the question now becomes, are you going to have enough people that'll flip it to get a pushback from it? And so again, you are trying to avoid the inevitable, just like with Gore, when your boy Jeffries got into the whole speech to try to detain the bill, but the bill still passed. So at the end of the day, man, we're looking at something that we pray that is not inevitable, but when you got the votes, man, you got this kind of people showing their hands. Yeah, I don't know.
So should they have done this right here, or should they just went ahead and said, okay, it's going to be what it's going to be?
I mean, you gotta stage some kind of protest. You gotta stage some kind of resistance. I mean, that's a given.
Right.
Then the question becomes if this is going to be beneficial as far as grassroots actions and things of
Right.
nature to get folks out to vote and replace some people who need to get out of those particular chairs. So yeah, I mean, at one point you got to look at it. What's going to be the long term ramifications of this? And if it gets some kind of traction behind it, absolutely.
Right.
But if we're just again prolonging time, I don't see the point.
Well, they said that it could go from state to state now, and different states could hold this protest up. With the Democrats could do that.
Well, brother, they've been going from state to state with Republicans doing what they want to do with the map. So, so this ain't nothing new, player.
This is true. This is true.
You know, I mean, Republicans been doing it from state to state. Alabama, Georgia, pick one. Louisiana, pick one. Mississippi, pick one. I mean, so at the end of the day, they've been doing gerrymandering, you know, for decades.
Right.
So that the question becomes again, how do you get the right kind of individuals in the chairs to do something as it relates to the voting situations? But again, at the end of the day, Doc, you have to look at who's in those chairs, and as long as they're are able to maintain those seats, you're gonna keep saying the same darn thing.
Yeah, it is. So we really need a new strategy here.
You ain't never lied.
Yeah.
But I'm praying people like Jasmine Crockett, people of her status can be in there. You got to look at the younger generation.
Yeah.
Preferably there's some conversation among those circles, because again, you got to look at time. I'm 50, man. You 54, 55, man. It's like, dude.
Yeah, bro.
There's so much line you can toe at 54 and 55 and down the line. But again, we have to look at the elders, those who were prior to. I don't think there was a good job as far as, and just within the kind of particular situation, with people preparing the next wave of leaders.
Right.
We get in seats and we get in positions and we hold them till we die. That ain't gonna fly.
That's why the Democrats are like they are right now. It's like, okay, who's the leader?
That part. Because I ain't found one.
I haven't found one yet.
No. Because again, when you're thinking about strategy, man, you got to have a wave of things. You got to have a next.
Right.
And I don't think, from what I can see, ascertain, no matter how you pull it, they're not thinking next. I mean, everything is reacting to a situation. I mean, you're reacting to Trump, you're reacting, to Mitch McConnell, whoever the is to at that time. You're being reactionary for your actions. But you're not thinking, again, strategic, which is you got to have a next wave of something. You got to have everything's in the pipeline, and you got to know 10 years down the line what this looks like. And you got to have conversations like that. And I'm not seeing that among, powers to be, but I hope I'm wrong.
Maybe there's somewhere in the back, somewhere that we don't know about, but
way in the back. Way in the back.
Then you had to deal with stuff like this. Trump firing the labor chief. Now, you're firing the labor chief, right? Just because she gave you the truth on how the labor statistics were.
Right.
And you fire her?
Right.
That makes that makes sense if you Trump.
There you go.
Because he always want everything to be great and beautiful and good.
In his favor.
In his favor.
That part.
Yeah. But here's some beautiful being. Well, go ahead, bro. What would you?
I want to see this footage first.
Okay. Here's the beautiful being footage of this.
Yeah.
Right here on Uncommon Sense.
Stunned silence to a brutal July jobs report that was way below market expectations. Crucially, the report also revised the previous jobs data from the last 2 months, which is standard practice. This happens a lot. It's a hard thing to measure. That turned out to be the worst part of today's report, right? So the revisions reduced job growth for May and June by a combined 258,000 jobs, like enormous revisions. Basically, what we have now is the worst 3 months of job growth since the pandemic, worse than any 3 months under Joe Biden for his entire presidency. And how did Donald Trump respond to that bad news published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner?
So you know what I did? I fired her.
Right.
And you know what? I did the right thing.
Why did you fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics?
Because I think her numbers were wrong.
If any government official going forward is presenting data or information you don't like, should they fear for their job?
I've always had a problem with these numbers. We need people that we can trust.
Why should anyone trust the numbers?
Well, that's
and
the
if
big
you're
thing. You're right. No, you're right. Why should anybody trust numbers?
Yeah, of course. Why should anybody trust numbers when you're going to fire the person who gave the statistics? It wasn't in your favor, so you're going to fire her, but you're going to find somebody that's going to give you some numbers that's in your favor.
Well, I mean, you can cook the books all you want, but at the end of the day, the truth gonna come out sooner than later. It might be later, but
see, you couldn't blame Biden.
No,
you couldn't blame Barack.
Nah,
this is all you, player.
Yeah, man. So you get rid of Bo Baby. I mean, it's cold blooded, man. To be able to now, the baby had a contract of 4 years, man. She should be in there another 4 years.
Right.
She just got in 2024.
Exactly.
So the deal is, again, you know this cat is trying to cook the books and again make things look in his favor. And then the economy is saying one thing all together. So I mean, what you gonna do? But at the end of the day, for an individual again to react like this, and again, your career politicians, your again advisors, whoever is looking at you saying and not questioning, the optics on this, and not pulling you in like, dude, are you sure you want to do this?
Right.
But again, if you have someone again behind the scenes that are dependent upon again making things look the way they want to look, no matter what that is, and at any cost.
Right.
Again, you're gonna see more of this. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised at all because this is what he does.
Well, see, right, you got three parties. You got three parties. You got the Democratic Party, of course. You got the Republican Party, of course. But then you got Donald Trump's party, which is called the MAGA Party.
Okay.
So right now, the MAGA Party is running the White House.
Well,
so the question
I got news for that.
I know, me too. But the question is, because he did this, are we in trouble?
Oh, you're definitely in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, look at the track record.
Well, wait a minute. Before you answer that, let me play the beautiful beam footage.
That part. Yeah.
Trust the data.
That part.
And you said, yes, I trust these people, but if there's ever a time to worry, I will come to a camera and tell you. Today, they fired the head of BLS. So is it time to worry?
It is time to worry. Thank you for putting a camera in front of me, as I unfortunately worried about. It is this, when I saw the job numbers this morning, I thought, as far as the labor market and the economy goes, it's not quite a break glass moment yet, but you better look for your hammer because, as you said, really the job market has really slowed down a lot. And then when I saw him fire the commissioner, that's a 5-alarm fire. We should all be worried about this authoritarian move of trying to take control of the statistical agencies when you don't like the numbers they deliver. The clear incentive is if Donald Trump puts you in charge of a statistical agency, give him the numbers you want or you're out. And that is, as your headline just said, that is absolutely a step down a path to a banana republic. Now, as Dan knows very well, the folks at BLS have a ton of integrity. That's the other thing I said on your show the other night. So we can still certainly trust their work, no question. But this is a huge, worrisome move in the wrong direction.
Dan, you worked at that agency, 1 to 10, 10 being basically worst case scenario. Where do you put this?
This is about a 9.5 trending to a 10. Look, this is like firing the referee because you don't like the final score of a game. If you look at the typical timeline of how this works, the BLS commissioner isn't even presented with the data until the Wednesday before the announcement. By the way, the president claimed that he first saw the jobs data this morning. That's almost certainly a lie. Typically, the president and his senior team are briefed the day before the jobs numbers come out. There's another thing I want to point out, too, is there's two different surveys within the report. There's the establishment survey, that's a survey of businesses. There's also a household survey, which is a survey of households and demographics. So another thing that's a concern here is all the demographic data, not just race data, but immigrant worker data, is now at the mercy of this new BLS commissioner. You know what the president feels about DEI. So all of these things could, in theory, be manipulated by a loyalist that Trump appoints.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're there.
That right there.
You're there.
We're there.
Well, I mean,
so when an individual can fire an individual for actually doing their job the correct way, and then make up numbers out of the air, out of the blue sky, just to fit his liking, we're in trouble.
I mean, he did it with his business. Or are you surprised? Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. He did with his businesses. Look, man, when he first came in, okay, you fire all the watchdogs. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on now. You fire everybody out of CDC. You fire everybody out of HUD. You fire everybody. So you look at what the track record is, man. They are actually padding every single agency to do what they want the agency to do as far as how it looks, what it puts out.
Right.
You know, so I mean, if you look at even the first 6 months, we knew this was coming.
Right.
Again, to the degree of when you first go in, and again, you do this purge to where basically there's nobody in the chairs. Nobody in the chairs now. So now you're filling with individuals again who are quote unquote loyal to you. But however, you got to understand something. I don't care if someone's loyal to you. The numbers, whenever they present themselves, are not going to change. Now you can cook them if you want to. That's totally up to you. I mean,
right.
Lie all you want, because we're used to lies coming out of this administration. That is no surprise.
Right.
But again, the results are still going to be the same as it relates to what's going to be the effect. You're not going to see a difference. And with the labor force change the way it is as far as immigrants, and you don't have, again, things popping off as far as agriculture, things like that, of course you're going to have this kind of blowback as far as the numbers are concerned. You know, so I mean, this is not nothing spectacular. We knew this was coming down the pipe. But what is, again, the issue is when you have someone who's able to, again, fire anybody who they get ready to, plug in lawyers, and you don't have any kind of career politician from Mitch McConnell on down the line saying, "Look here, bro, you need to check yourself,"
right?
Because this ain't how we do it,
right?
But again, if we can survive the next 3 years, because we just now 7 months in this mother, we just 7 months into something going.
Yes, sir.
Again, nothing lasts forever, player. I mean,
nothing.
You know, I don't know why folks have this misconception that you are in an eternity kind of situation. You're not. Everything has a time limit.
Yeah.
You know, and so again, when the expiration date hits this sucker, you know, see that poet player. See that right there.
Yeah.
When that sucker hit, see, then all bets are off.
That's why you got to be prepared for when it hits.
Truly.
And see, that's what we're not getting, is to be prepared when it hits.
Right.
You know, and then like you said before, being strategic and coming up with the plan, because when it hit, then we can move in and do what we do.
Because it's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit. Yeah. And so again, I think people, we all need to start being commentators and spectators, you know, and looking at things and and really begin to start saying, okay, what do I do in this particular season that we're at? You know, what's my next step in this? Because at the end of the day, man, from education to science to medicine, health, you name it, bro. You at the mercy of somebody who don't give a darn.
Don't care.
Don't care at all. I was gonna say something else, but thank God, grab my tongue. You know, just don't give a mother. So I'm talking about Trump. So again, when you're looking at, you're at the mercy of a government, man, that literally is showing that they do not care.
Right.
I mean, look at the disasters, man. I mean, from the floods and everything, and you're denying disaster aid.
Yes. Exactly.
Come on now, dude. And these are people who voted for your tail.
Yes.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, Sarah Huckabee up there in Arkansas? How do you deny that baby? She was on your staff.
Because what you're trying to do, you building a $200 million ballroom, my brother.
Okay.
You ain't got time for that.
Okay. Well,
I'm just saying.
Again, everything expiration date. So
expiration date, bro. Nothing lasts forever.
Nope.
Nope.
At least not in this experience from what I'm shown. So
no, sir.
They ain't got expiration date on the play.
And since we talking about firing, there's some former immigrant judges who said they want to speak out now because there was some stuff going on when they got fired that it just didn't make sense. No, not at all. So let's run that beautiful beam footage right here on Uncommon Sense.
It was arbitrary, unfair, and it's an attack on the rule of law. It's an attack on judges.
George Pappas, Jennifer Payton, and Carla Espinoza were all fired this month by email. They'd been federal immigration judges who together ruled on thousands of cases in Chicago and Boston. Did they give you a reason why in your email?
My email was 3 sentences. I had no cause. I had no explanation.
We as judges were in fear. We were concerned. And that makes it very difficult to be impartial. We were not succumbing to that pressure, but it does feel like pressure.
Were you?
Now, you know this was a Trump move, right? Because it said it had no cause in it. And so, you know, he don't know too many words.
Does he know any words?
Exactly. And then you gonna fire some federal judges just off the whim? But anyway, yeah, here we go.
There we go.
Ever told how to rule?
Yes.
What'd they say?
They told me, grant the motions to dismiss. This is when ICE was roaming the courthouses, because if we dismiss the case, that person that responded then leaves the court vulnerable to immediate apprehension and expedited removal.
Just so people understand, you grant a motion to dismiss the case.
Correct.
Now the individual what?
They are no longer in proceedings.
Once they left the courtroom, more often than not, they will be handcuffed and led away by the ICE officers.
Take a step, back up, back up.
CBS News has reported on the numerous cases where ICE agents detained immigrants as they exited their court hearings. With about 600 immigration judges left, courts now face a backlog of nearly 4 million cases. President Trump says it could take 200 years to resolve all these cases.
It is my opinion that this administration could give a hoot about the backlog.
The administration says repeatedly, these folks are here illegally, that's breaking the law, they gotta go. Do they have a point?
Well, that's why they're in proceedings in court. There is law that we're applying, and they might have to go, they might not.
What's at stake here?
It's really the future of our country. If the funding is going to enforcement and there's no justice left, that shows that our country is no longer embracing the need for due process and for justice.
That's a big statement. The future of the country is at stake here. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. If you're attacking the very judges that adjudicate cases, there's not going to be a rule of law. That should concern everybody, not just immigrants, but U.S. citizens.
Today is them, is immigrants. What about tomorrow? Who's going to get due process denied next?
Exactly. Who going to get due process taken away from them next?
So, I mean, again, bro, you're going to run out because you've already ran out of immigrants. I mean, if you look at who they're pulling, all jokes aside, you ran out of immigrants, man.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're going to have to go somewhere else to get your population. And again, it's the low-hanging fruit. But for some reason, people have this misnomer that it can't happen to me because I'm an American citizen. Oh, okay. Okay. But look at everything they've done thus far to infringe upon your rights. You know, look at what they've done thus far. to pull back whatever rights you think you got.
Right.
And so if you don't think that they are not planning something else beyond this, you have lost your mind. You don't build all these concentration camps around your country without having beds in mind and how to fill them. So yeah, it's going to matriculate down the line. How fast, that depends on, again, what kind of resistance is put up behind the scenes. But for a judge to come out and say those kind of things as relates to the judicial system and how things have been playing out, that should put some alarm bells on everybody. Because they don't come out and say nothing.
No.
But for a federal judge to say this right here is an attack on the rule of law, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you better wait.
Exactly. You got a problem there.
You got a problem.
And this is part of it from another standpoint on how he's reshaping how Americans' history is taught in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially coming from our perspective.
Yeah.
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 So now they want to paint the picture that America the Beautiful has always been America the Beautiful. Yeah, we might have had slavery, but that was just something that happened.
Well, Carson called you indentured servants, or called you immigrants.
I know, didn't he?
Yeah, what did he say? He said we had immigrants come over on ships. So,
which we didn't volunteer to come over here on no ship.
No, we didn't, bro. So I mean, like, okay,
right.
Okay.
But anyway, let's run the beautiful bean footage right now here on Uncommons.
Written classes remained almost 100% white until 1969.
For 8th grader Julia Jones, U.S. history.
I'm like, well, wasn't Brownby born in 1954? That doesn't seem right.
Classes at her own Richmond, Virginia middle school.
When the 1970 school year started, there were about 5,000 white students who never came back.
Jones was competing in National History Day in College Park, Maryland, one of some 3,000 students from around the country.
In school, we often learned that, after 1954, now schools were integrated. Now black and white students could learn together, and it's a big victory. But then when you learn this history, you realize that really wasn't the case.
Students picked their own topics, drafting the Declaration of Independence, the evolution of labor unions, Japanese internment camps during World War II.
We are telling the kids that you have to look at all the angles, and you have to back up what you're saying with evidence.
Kathy Gorn runs National History Day, held every year since 1974.
You guys pick me a winner?
But this year's different, after federal cuts hit home in April.
We had 2 grants, and the total amount we lost was $336,000, right in the middle of everything.
The grants were among more than 1,000 terminated at the National Endowment for the Humanities. Private donors bailed out this year's competition, but the cloud hovers.
Our teachers in some areas are being told that they can't teach certain subject areas. Some teachers have left the classroom because they've thought, if I can't teach truth, then I'm not going to stay here.
So what's driving the cuts?
So I think we've ended up with really the wrong approach to historical education.
It's way worse than that. Wokeness has become the new curriculum.
We have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite...
In January, the president signed an executive order promoting patriotic, as opposed to supposedly woke, education.
Woke education? Really? We going there? Woke education?
I thought education supposed to wake you up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That boy.
And then, not only that, you have and you know this guy, you have a gentleman by the name of Mike Goldman. Of the Heritage Foundation that wrote this part of the, what's that, Project 2025?
2025, Doc.
About how to make America like a patriotic country, that it's America the Beautiful, and not even expose all the things that went on in America. But if you know everything that went in America, America's got a lot of payback to do.
Yeah, when them skeletons come back to get their skin.
What did X say?
Chickens
come home.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Be a lot of cooking going on then.
Let's hear from old Mike right now here on Uncommon Sense.
Or that there is a collective guilt to be carried.
Mike Gonzalez, who fled Fidel Castro's Cuba as a child in the 70s, works for the Heritage Foundation and helped write Project 2025, the conservative blueprint for President Trump's second term.
Do you think America has or has had a racism problem? Yeah. I mean, we had systemic racism. If you were a black couple in Alabama in 1950, you couldn't go to the lunch counter and get a sandwich. Yeah, I would call that a racism problem. Do we still have it? I think there are individual racists. I think there's ugly racism. But by the way, and I think just so we should be ever vigilant and prosecute these things, we haven't been able to get rid of murder, rape, theft. We're probably not going to be able to get rid of racism.
So how do we strike the right balance in teaching, commemorating, let's say, the history of slavery or Jim Crow or the civil rights movement?
I think you have to put it in the proper context. I don't know anybody who says, no, we cannot teach about slavery. But you have to also add, 12 million, Africans were brought in the continent of Africa and made it across to the New World. Of that, 400,000 came here. In other words, 3%. Slavery was practiced in the rest of the Americas extensively, much more extensively than here in my own country of birth, and was practiced in biblical times. It was practiced in antiquity. So there's a long history of man not being kind to man.
Hold up, what book is he coming from?
I don't know.
What history book is this? What history book is this, bruh?
I don't know.
We go from Africa, 12 million. Then we go to the New World. And then we turn it into religion.
Bro.
Really?
They making this mess up as they go.
I know.
Yeah, so I mean, really, Gonzalez. Really.
Come on, Gonzalez. Come on,
bro.
Woo.
You fled Cuba. You really want to teach on this subject.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
ain't your last name Gonzalez?
And he's an immigrant from Cuba.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how can he write anything on American history. I'm just saying. This is like, dude, make it make sense. I mean, but they doing it.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, this patriotic society that you're trying to create, man, is again to whitewash everything. That's why they did what they did in Smithsonian. That's why they did everything as far as critical race theory, Project 1619. I mean, pick one. So it's all the things they're doing, man, is signs of what they're trying to do, which is to whitewash American history. Because again, when you look at the stain of what you have to look at, it's not making someone else feel bad. It is about holding people accountable for what you did, and not trying to make it look like everything was peaches and cream.
Right.
I mean, they just commemorated what we call Mississippi Burning, but they commemorated the 4 brothers that lost their life down there in Mississippi. As it relates to the voting situation. I mean, you're talking about these dynamics, man. I mean, this stuff happened. You can't deny that. And to try to teach it in the framework of, yes, slavery did happen. However, you got to put it in context because we only had 3% here, and it was rest of Africa and the rest of America, and even biblical time and antiquity.
And then some came to the New World.
Yeah, and that's what we call bullshit. Okay, that's what we call bullshit. That's what we call it. I mean, I mean, you can articulate however you want to say it, but it's still bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, the real issue is Green, is the reason why they don't want to teach on slavery is because slavery was the economic engine behind everything. I mean, it's not just the dirty South, bro.
That's how this country was built.
That's the bottom line. I mean, that's why you don't want to teach it, because again, it gives the economic standpoint of why reparations conversation still has not been had. They're trying to get away from that. But again, you pull J.P. Morgan, you pull the Catholic Church, you pull Harvard, you pull anything on the scene as far as institutions in America, they benefited from institutional slavery. I mean, bottom line, period. That is why you have to get away from it, because then you have to deal with, okay, what was the economic impact of slavery?
Because you still owe a set amount of people.
Yes, you do.
That you've done wrong.
Yes, you do.
And see, that's what King found out, or he realized, wait a minute. I done pulled my people, I done drew my people to a burning building.
That's
a burning house. And when he said, we going to Washington and get our money,
that boy,
he understood then what it was. It wasn't about civil rights then.
No, never been.
It had nothing to do with it.
Never been that.
But see, that's oftentimes what we do, right? We fight the wrong fight.
Exactly. Because that fight over there, Jay, would get you killed.
Yeah.
That's the truth of the matter of it.
Yeah.
That when you're really fighting something that is actually the fight or the struggle, you know, whatever component it is.
Right.
Then yeah, that stuff there has a price tag to it.
Right.
And you steer away from that. So that's why it will never be, you know, another James Baldwin or, you know, an ex, you know, King. Because these cats don't want to do that. They don't want to put, you know, that kind of skin in the game.
Right.
So as long as you can keep people entertained, keep people going through the same BS, keep people going, you know, boycott and Target.
Yeah. But
why? You know, so at the end of the day, you're not really dealing with economic empowerment.
No, you're not.
I mean, if you want to take on something, I mean, if you would just help the black farmers get their product to the main communities, and I'm talking about your Walmarts, if you can help the black farmers get that, then you're talking about economic empowerment. If you look at how much farmland blacks have lost, in this game because of discrimination, and even your USDA has admitted that we discriminate against black farmers. I mean, dude, come on. So how do you teach that in your classroom, by the way, you know, Gonzalez? You know, when your own government tells you that we discriminated against you.
Yeah, we did discriminate against you. Yeah, we did that.
Teach that. I mean, you redline communities. Teach that. I mean, but see, again, this is what they're getting away from, Jay. The truth of the matter is they have to steer history away from anything that validates the economic impact of slavery and blacks in this country. That's what they're steering this thing away from. It ain't got nothing to do with, you know, somebody feeling bad or, you know, that
not at all.
Our ancestors are no longer here. No, your ancestors are not, but the institutions are still here. You know, and still benefiting from the situation. So make it make sense to me.
Because even if you go back and buy the property that our ancestors had, even the historical the property that we had, you would still be bringing back into our community the economic value because of the property. But for somehow, some way, we don't want to do that. We want to fight Target. We want to build the biggest churches. We want to have sports teams. But we don't want to take back the land that's really belongs to us, that they want to condemn and destroy it and to do something else with it.
Exactly.
Right.
Because again,
So matter of fact, here's Brother Philip Howard, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what he's doing to kind of conserve all of these old historical buildings and these landmarks for our people right here on Uncommon Sense.
Howard is a civil rights preservationist in Alabama.
I don't believe this work is controversial. I believe it is just as important to protect this history as it is to protect battlefields of the Civil War, or homes of the Founding Fathers.
Even though the Trump administration, at least at the moment, is trying to reframe history to make it more positive.
I don't think there is a more positive American story than the Civil Rights Movement.
In March, the Montgomery bus station, home to the Freedom Rides Museum, was one of more than 400 federal buildings deemed not, quote, core to government operations and slated for sale. After an uproar, however, the museum was dropped from the list.
The challenges we face today are minuscule compared to the history we're trying to preserve.
Howard crisscrosses Alabama and Mississippi for the Conservation Fund, a real estate nonprofit that partners with local communities to protect historic sites.
Raise your hand if you were on the bridge during Bloody Sunday.
A recent stop, Zion Church in Marion, Alabama, where a memorial service was held in 1965 for Jimmy Lee Jackson, a young civil rights activist killed by Alabama police, a death that helped spark the Selma to Montgomery March.
And what would you all think your legacy should be?
For people to continue on with the fight and to know that it didn't come easy.
We need to know the history, so hopefully we don't repeat it.
Last stop in Selma.
The Eddystone Hotel, built in 1855.
Where recently freed blacks came for food, shelter, and medical care following the Civil War.
This building would have been one of the first places in the South where an African-American person would have been treated like a human. Even though there are challenges, it's nothing that these communities haven't seen before. They will come out of this stronger than ever. This history will be preserved.
Right. Why can't none of our entertainers or those who have money buy these properties and take them over and redo them?
Because it makes sense, Green. Because it makes sense. That's why they don't do it.
Bruh.
I know, right? Sickening, ain't it?
It's sickening, Doc. It's sickening.
But that again shows you that the job is done as far as you've made even black folk feel that commemorating or remembering or trying to protect that particular experience, you made them feel as if that right there is something wrong or racist or outdated,
right?
When in fact once you get blacks thinking that way, then you tend to try to get away from the conversation. However, if you look at the dynamics of NBA, if you look at the dynamics of the NFL, all of that is the direct resemblance of slavery, direct product of it.
Yeah.
When you have these guys run up and down, trying out for the NFL, and they're trying to find the strongest and the fastest. Really?
Oh, no, really?
And then you look at the team makeup, 90% of them are black.
Right.
Really?
Right.
And you look at the ownership, and 100% of them are white.
White. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at it, I mean, this is what you're at. But because you feel like you've got some kind of inroad, because you got a little dollars in your back pocket, and you can live behind a gated community, you've arrived. I get that. I understand it to what it is.
We buy a house with 5 or 6 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. It's like, really?
Okay. But again, it shows that you have destroyed the community mindset of blacks.
Right.
And that's the whole deal. And I think that's why, again, the younger generation, they need to have a conversation. They need to have a space whereabout you now begin to rebuild this thing called community in their mind, because there is no sense of that, because you destroyed that.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at welfare, man. I mean, they had the rule.
Yeah.
The government had the rule that there could be no man in the freaking house. If the family wanted, if their family wanted benefits, they could not have a man in the house. That was,
you know why?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it went so far as your boy James Earl Jones. They did a movie called Claudine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if that didn't try to wake your butt up, come on. I mean, so I mean, come on now. But if you look at it, man, it was a systematic thing of destroying community and family in the Black mindset, and they did a marvelous job.
Yes.
In doing that.
Yes.
And so now this is the ramifications of it. You have splinters, and I mean, even Black churches. You can't even get Black churches to come together, man.
No, you can't. You
I
can't.
mean, what sense that make? You serve the same God, but y'all can't worship together. Really?
Exactly.
Come on, we're on the same team, but you know, come on.
Right.
So this is where you are, because you've destroyed, again, community in the mind of Blacks.
Exactly.
So therefore, you get this ramification. That's why they're not concerned, quote unquote, about the Black vote, because it's splintered.
Right. Exactly.
How do you have King's sister? That working for the Heritage Foundation.
Heritage Foundation.
Make it make sense.
Heritage Foundation.
Make it make sense.
The one who wrote Project 2025.
Make it make sense.
The one who's funding Project 2025.
Make it make sense. So again, I'm not trashing, you know, Freddie King. I mean, baby, do what you do. But if you would bring Daddy King,
or at least bring it back to the community and build something. At least that,
bro. Then you're gonna mess my money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't mess my money now. So it all goes back to economics. I mean, when you look at it, man, it always centered around economics. And
yep.
To have a Freddie King again out here supporting Heritage Foundation, and I mean, to see her again being used,
and all the stuff your daddy fought for.
That part, I bet Daddy King like, what? Girl, no. So I mean, that's what you are. But because again, so you can see the splinter. I mean, you look at it, quote unquote, the Black Conservative Federation that supported Trump, you know, in the elections, and y'all had a bus. I mean, like,
really? Come on, man.
Really? We doing this now.
We doing this.
You know, and everything he's done in there has destroyed, you know, the Black side. I mean, he's messed with as well as the clean air and all the good stuff. He's trashed that. He's trashed the civil rights department inside the DOJ, and also education department. So I mean, anything that benefit you directly, he's literally unraveled it from root to the tutti. So I mean, So talk to me about that. So that's what I'm saying. And your boy Donaldson down there in Florida, bless his heart. When DeSantis' wife, who is not even running for governor yet,
right?
When she beat you out in the poll, what that tell you, bro?
What that tell you?
With the woman who's not even running, beat you in the poll.
And you the first one kissing Trump's foot.
Oh, it ain't his foot.
Well, I know what you mean.
It ain't his foot, player. Go a little higher, you know.
Yeah. Him. And Scott got one cheek, and he got the other cheek.
That boy right there, boy. Scott. I mean, I don't see how that man wake up in the morning.
What did you see him the other day when he was with the reserve, the head of the Fed? I'm like, what? Everything Trump said. Yes, again, a boss, it's ours.
Again, he's just trying to keep that chair, man. I'm telling you, that's the only reason Scott is doing what he's doing. He's trying to keep that chair.
Of course, all of them trying to keep their chairs.
But I'm just saying, man, and again, I mean, I know you look in the mirror and the skin might appear black, but the mind is all white. That's what I'm gonna say, man.
Exactly, bro.
You look at your boy Clarence Thomas. I mean, the skin is black, but the mind is white. I mean, that's what you are. So you don't have an ally nowhere.
No,
if you're honest about it, and so yeah, the struggle done got real.
Yeah,
and you better know what that darn struggle really is.
And the allies, quote unquote, you say you have, they don't even understand the fight. So it's like them beating the air.
That part. Because again, if you look at Warnock's district,
come on, man.
That's all I'm saying. If you look at his district, and yes, the King Center is in that district. I'm simply saying if you look at again the districts of individuals who've been in that chair for quite some time.
Yeah.
Show me how your district has changed benefit. That's all I need to know. Bump the speeches. I mean, just
it's the same. It's the same, bro. It ain't nothing changed.
So
nothing changed.
Because again, the moment you start actually doing something for building capacity and really again affecting the lives of those whom you say you serve.
We got to redistrict now. We got to redistrict.
That part.
So we got to take Coca-Cola out your district. We got to take whomever that's got the economic value. We got to take it out your district.
They're going to suck it out of there.
Suck it out of there. Because no, you don't need that.
Yeah. So I mean, we know what the game is.
Yeah.
But my only thing is, if you're going to be a player in the game, play the game.
Play the game.
That's all I'm saying.
Play the game.
Just play the game.
Play the game. Learn the rules and play the game.
That's all I'm saying, man. If you're a player, just do me a favor and play the game. That's all I'm asking.
Well, brother, Wright, I had to pull this one. I had to dig deep, and I had to pull this one.
Okay.
One of our elder statesmen. You know, he's gone and made his transition.
Oh my.
But I had to get some wise words from that wise man by the name of Dick Gregory.
Oh,
and
Gregory.
And he got some advice for our young people. You know, especially our young black people that that might help them along this way. So let me go ahead and pull him up right quick.
I hope they listen.
Yeah, I hope so, brother. I hope so.
And don't make the mistake that most of your mothers and fathers made. When I wake up in the morning, my prayers, and I thank God I woke up, the Ku Klux Klan woke up this morning. The drug pushers woke up this morning. I thank God that I made another 24 hours in the most vicious, nasty, hateful, insane nation that's ever existed with my wits, without hating, without being bitter, without being mean. And I thank God that I survived 24 hours in that type of atmosphere with the type of amusement and friendliness. And so I would say to young folks, don't be in a state of denial of the racism and sexism, but don't let that block you. Don't teach your children that you have to be twice as good as a white. That's an awful thing to teach your child. That's like saying because you're black, white America has a right to change your dollar for 94 cents. But we used to get 50 cents, and before that we used to get nothing. Young folks have to say, we don't want more change for $1. Excuse me, we want a full dollar's change for $1, or this cash register will never ring again.
Yes.
I would also like for young blacks to understand that about 83% of all employment happen with small businesses. And if you don't have a small business, then you have nobody to work for you. And I would say to young blacks, get into entrepreneurship. We will never catch up with white America till we get into business. because there's a thing called tax write-offs. And if you have a job and come together, 10 of you, and open up a corporation and have somebody run it, you hiring somebody to run it, but you have tax write-offs. 98% of people that fly first class on airplanes would not be there if that wasn't a write-off. And yet, on that first class, they gave away last year $800 million, almost $1 billion of free whiskey. But if a welfare mother asked for some apple juice for the baby, she's laughed at. And so I would say entrepreneurship, and then understand that we will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is, I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and the shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that one, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll have to sell it back to a black person for $1 million. Yes. And then the money circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a hand few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong.
Yes.
And so I would say to young folks, it's not about alcohol, but it's hard for me to say that to you when a 5-year-old got to reach past mama's beer and papa's wine to get some mayonnaise. I would also say to young folks that the number one drug that will wipe you out is not cocaine, it's not heroin, it's marijuana. And they deliberately make that a recreation drug, but it stays in the muscles, it stays in the blood, and it will wipe out your memory bank. And also, this is the first time in the history of TB that TB has always been known as poor folks. It's the first time that TB is not running rampant in the ghetto. It's running rampant in middle-income white America, because it's the marijuana that they spray, and that's no accident. And so I would just say to young folks, you have to reevaluate everything you've been taught. I would say to the black folks that just because a black person is 90 years old don't mean they have wisdom, and you need to listen to them, because if you was dumb and stupid when you was 9, you dumb and stupid when you 90.
That part.
That part right there. That part right there.
That's it, man. That's it. The elder has spoken, man.
Yes, sir. You know, that's one of the last of the elders that really gave you something to think about. You know, we don't have that now.
No.
We might have that in other ways, other fashions, but not on the national scene or nothing like that, because Brother Gregory was a heavy brother, man.
Truly, man. And again, like you said, man, this the travesty about it is that we don't have that go-to anymore.
Right.
Like we got in pockets, truly, but as far as someone on that kind of level,
right.
You know, every community needs that.
Yes.
And when we have that deficit, and then you have these wannabes trying to fill it, don't go too well sometimes, you know.
No, it don't go too well.
Yeah.
Nah.
But always not lost, as God says, you know, He always has a ram in the bush.
Ram in the bush. Yes,
somewhere,
sir.
Man. Somewhere.
Yes, sir. Somewhere. Uncommon Sense. Heard every Tuesday at 7:00 p.m. right here on thetruevision.net and also sentsyouask.com. Until next week, see ya.